Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things 30 through a common sense lens. And man, oh man, I don't think anybody out there believed President Donald J. Trump for 1 second when he said that he was going to make Hollywood great again. No, there was plenty of people who thought it was all a joke. They thought it was just him yada, 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 and virtue signaling nonsense, that it was just these people that he appointed that go to Hollywood and try to figure out what things were good work and what things wouldn't, and yada, yada, yada. They were all like, nah, that's never going to happen. It's just virtue signaling, yada, 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 yada. Well, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen of all ages, after, way too long of a time, after the rumor mills went wild, saying that Rush Hour 4 was indeed happening, despite Warner Brothers being in the middle of all of the stuff that they've got going on right now, despite all of that, everybody was like, this is never going to happen. Well, guess what? Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, Jackie Chan and Tucker Carlson are returning for a Rush Hour 4, boys and girls. And guess what? It only happened because of President Donald J. Trump. So from one Rush Hour fan, I hope I can speak for all of the rest of them out there saying thank you to anyone who voted for Donald J. Trump. Because boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this could not have happened without him. Trump-backed Rush Hour 4 moving forward at Paramount. Trump's reported push for Rush Hour 4 adds twist to the Warner Brothers battle. And now confirmed, Paramount is teaming with Warner Brothers for a new Rush Hour movie. And boys and girls, this is the Rush Hour movies. You remember from the 90s when you could make jokes about race and culture and everybody just laughed and had a good time with those movies? You know, the movies that now have warning labels, trigger labels on their movies before they come out now. Yes, Donald J. Trump is bringing that back. And a director that was persona non grata, according to Hollywood, after he does a documentary on the president's wife. Well, look at that, boys and girls. All of a sudden, things are working out very nice. And it's more Paramount, Donald J. Trump, and Warner Brothers Discovery connections. Weird how that works. It's almost like God's trying to tell us something, boys and girls. So we're going to check out this article from cosmicbook.news, as well as jump over to That Park Place and Geeks and Gamers as well, because, you know, I just can't help myself sometimes. It's the ADD squirrel in me. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing. We just crossed 2,400. We're on our way towards 25 on our journey to 100,000. I think we're sitting like 2,450 or 2,449, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below later what you think about all this. Does it surprise you at all that Donald J. Trump indeed fulfilled on another one of his campaign promises out there by making Hollywood great again and giving us a Rush Hour 4 and seeing Jackie Chan and Tucker reunited once again out there on the big screen? Or you're like, nah, this is garbage. The Rush Hour movies offend my modern sensibilities. And oh my God, I can't believe Trump's making this happen. Let us know what you think about that in the comment section down below. And of course, if you'd like to support the channel, please check the links in the description as well, because this is my full-time job, and that by the grace of God, and that does go a very long way to help. So thank you for that, boys and girls. All right, let's just start over at thatparkplace.com, because why not? In a twist nobody had on their Hollywood bingo card, Rush Hour 4 is finally happening. And yes, it's the Rush Hour 4 President Trump reportedly pushed for behind the scenes, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Boys and girls, the Hollywood Reporter, okay? The same rumor mill from over here at Cosmic Book News. This isn't from the Sephora people that all this originally came from. No, the Hollywood Reporter, boys and girls. Paramount is closing in on a deal to distribute Rush Hour 4, marking Brett Ratner's first narrative feature since 2017 and the first return of Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker in nearly 2 decades. Sorry about that, Chris. I know I accidentally called you Tucker Carlson earlier, but I knew I had your last name right at least. But the bigger shock isn't Ratner's comeback. It's how Paramount is able to distribute a franchise historically rooted inside Warner Brothers' New Line Cinema. Wow, even more ties that bond together. So this is one of the funny parts about this. So this is right here. Paramount is set to distribute the next Rush Hour, right? This is from the first major debut since 2017 and confirming the same scenario reported in Trump's popular cultural push coverage. As we also went over, Trump happens to be a big Ben Affleck Batman fan. Well, as of December 1st, Warner Brothers is putting various Batman movies on Paramount Plus. I wonder why all this is working out so well together. Now Paramount teams up with Warner Brothers for Rush Hour, reportedly on Trump's recommendation, who favors Paramount Skydance winning the bid to Warner Brothers Discovery. So this is literally from Boris Kitt over at The Hollywood Reporter. And we'll just jump straight over to his actual Twitter post. Here you see it right here. Thanksgiving turkey shocker. Paramount going where no studio has gone since 2017. Working with Ratner on Rush Hour 4. It's in talks to distribute the potential film. Lionsgate debated whether to make Rush Hour 4 and worked with Ratner in July of 2024. But after internal discussions, decided against it. But that was before Donald Trump reportedly decided to step in. So all of you Rush Hour fans, despite who you might have voted for, guess what? You got President Trump to thank for the sequel. I personally, I'm sure I'm not the first, but I'm going to say it in my video anyway. Thank you, President Donald J. Trump, for giving us Rush Hour 4. I'm glad I voted for you. If nothing else, it might have been worth just that. The Hollywood Reporter states plainly the move reportedly comes after a push from President Donald Trump, who has strong ties to Larry Ellison and son David Ellison. Like I said, Trump's also a Batfleck fan. The latter who runs Skydance, Paramount's new owners. Semaphore initially revealed that Trump personally pressed Paramount to revive Rush Hour, as well as Jean-Claude Van Damme's actioneer Bloodsport. Hey, now there we go. I'm sure Jean-Claude Van Damme would be more than happy to come back and work in Hollywood and do some fun stuff. Bloodsport's a great movie. Yes, please, let's do it. And honestly, I like Trump's choices for movies too. In today's Hollywood, where activists, executives, and risk-averse boards spend more time virtue signaling than giving audiences what they want, the idea of a president pushing for a buddy cop comedy sequel almost feels refreshing. Trump didn't ask for a progressive lecture disguised as entertainment. He asked for a fast-talking Chris Tucker and deadpan Jackie Chan kicking bad guy teeth in. Honestly, America could use a little more of that energy, and he's absolutely right 100% on this one. It's been 18 years since Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker teamed up for Brett Ratner's action comedy series. Thanks to the streaming, the Rush Hour movies have remained popular, although anyone watching them now might be shocked by the late 90s humor. Trigger warnings have reportedly been attached where they're shown on cable TV. This is from the USA Network. We are all a love of 90s buddy comedies. But this movie was created in a different time, before our modern sensibilities and how we awoke into all of this racism and sexism that was just so wrong back then. These people wouldn't know comedy if it whacked them over the head with Thor's hammer. Mjolnir could not knock comedy sense into these people's heads. FYI, certain depictions, language, and humor may seem outdated and at times offensive. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I grew up in the 90s. I'm literally like the definition, my family's literally the definition of Martin Luther King's dream. I'm half Mexican, my little sister's half black, my little brother's a quarter Korean, and my other little sister's like 100% Wisconsin white. Okay? All blood related. Talk to mom about that. Okay? But at the end of the day, this is what we are. Our family get-togethers was who can tell the most racist joke about the other person's ethnicity. Because it's funny. Because stereotypes are funny. It's a joke. Ha 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 ha. You remember that? Oh, no, we can't. No, we can't have jokes like that. No, that's racist. Yeah. So, shout out. Once again, Donald Trump said that he was going to eliminate a lot of the Spirit of the Age stuff. And hey, guess what? Bringing Rush Hour 4, an offensive comedy, is probably a good idea to do, especially if you're bringing the director back. I think this is going to work out nicely. The reason why Paramount is even in a play for Rush Hour 4 is simple. Warner Brothers let the sequel rights slip away years ago. Even though the original trilogy was built inside New Line, the studio quietly allowed the rights for a potential fourth film to be licensed out long before any of today's negotiations. That decision opened the door for another distributor to swoop in, and Paramount took the opportunity. It's important to note that Warner Brothers didn't lose the rights, and this has nothing to do with Paramount's ongoing efforts to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery. It's just a happy coincidence, boys and girls. Yeah, isn't there an old saying about how God doesn't play with dice? I don't know. They willingly let the sequel rights be licensed out, likely during a stretch of studio restructuring, leadership churn, and merger turmoil. In other words, Warner Brothers let the ball roll out of bounds long before Paramount picked it up. The licensing clearance is why Paramount can step in without financing the movie. If the deal comes together, Paramount's only role would be to handle distribution. They collect the distribution fee, but the actual financing of the film would come from elsewhere. So it's not a takeover, it's more of a pickup. Paramount simply gets the theatrical marketing lane. So the report confirms that Rush Hour 4 would be a direct sequel, reuniting Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, and that is one of the beauties of it as well. The idea of putting them back together in 2025 in a Hollywood climate hypersensitive to everything is almost rebellious by itself. It absolutely is rebellion. This is directly pushing back against the spirit of the age, and I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever that Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan are all on board to bring back the exact same kind of offensive jokes all of the time. Never touch a black man's radio. Never touch a China man's radio. I mean, it's all of these kind of stuff that you all love. Oh, ting tong wa. Ah, like from Chris Tucker. Like, this is what you want. This is how we're all supposed to act. This is what we're all supposed to laugh at. We're not supposed to let our differences divide us. We're supposed to unite around them. And the best way to do that is to laugh at the ridiculousness of all of it. Who cares if you're notorious for loving watermelon and fried chicken? I'm notorious for loving tacos, and I'm okay with that. My wife loves the fact that I enjoy eating tacos. Like, I mean, seriously, this is so stupid. This is so absolutely insane and ridiculous that this is what people get butthurt about because of this kind of stuff out there. Hollywood's executives might not love the optics, but they'll love a franchise with $500+ million in domestic box office even more. That's right, because 2 + 2 still equals 4. God is still on his throne in heaven, and eventually Marxists run out of other people's money. And Hollywood has found that rule out in spades. They're broke. The only reason Warner Brothers Discovery is getting bought by Paramount Skydance right now is because of the choices they made as a company. They got in bed with the spirit of the age. Well, it wasn't Warner Brothers Discovery specifically. It was the former Brothers leadership. They got in bed with the spirit of the age and gave us things like Birds of Prey. Boys and girls. Yeah. Go woke, go broke. That's right. So guess what? I know. Strange concept. Their own personal survival. Their ego. Their narcissism. Their pride. It turns out making money and keeping their cushy positions are more important than your virtue signaling after all. I know. Strange concept, huh? This isn't just a buddy cop sequel announcement. It's more of a cultural shift within Hollywood itself. Hollywood has been losing an audience for years. Political messaging has infected nearly every blockbuster, and studios keep lecturing customers instead of entertaining them. Then suddenly, a major franchise revival is happening because of a sitting president wanted mainstream entertainment instead of activist programming. The symbolism writes itself. Rush Hour 4 represents a fascinating moment in Hollywood, politically, culturally, and industrially. Trump wanted it, Paramount's delivering it. Warner Brothers quietly let the rights walk away. Chan and Tucker are back, and Ratner returns from industry exile. And that's right. In case you wanted to know what industry stuff he had going on, Kind of reminds me of a Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation that we dealt with not too long ago, boys and girls. Ratner was pushed out of Hollywood in 2017 after multiple misconduct accusations, which he denied. He sued one accuser for defamation, and both sides later agreed to settle. Sound like anything from then? Yeah. Sound like something we've heard before? Yeah. Kind of like some stuff that we've seen happen over the last few years when the people who actually used to be able to make good movies and good stories. Oh, I don't know. Whatever that guy over at Pixar already hugged people too tightly or for too long. And that's what got him fired. It was never about that, right? It was always about power and control and taking people that could actually make good movies, good televisions that were funny and didn't have giant woke sticks up their butt while they're being brought back. Because guess what? Times have indeed changed. And eventually you do run out of other people's money. And now Trump's delivering another one of his campaign promises. He's making America great again. And he's starting with Rush Hour 4. And boys and girls, that's a beautiful thing to hear. Those movies are hilarious. They're funny. The jokes are exactly the kind of stuff we need nowadays to maybe slap some sense back into people and remind guess what? Yeah, we all are different. I might be a Mexican. He might be black. You might be white. He might be Asian. And guess what? The Asians like eating rice. The Mexicans like eating tacos. Fried chicken and watermelon is still really popular among black people. And guess what? White people can't season shit. So yeah, it's funny. It's a joke. And Rush Hour and Donald J. Trump, president, overwhelmingly voted for by the American people, is making that happen again. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, as always, the fans decide what succeeds and what fails. And they decided a long time ago that the Rush Hour franchise is extremely popular and has kept it popular on streaming. Those exact same fans voted for Donald J. Trump for President of the United States. And guess what? They've decided once again, we're sick and tired of your lectures, your garbage, your nonsense, and we'd like some offensive comedy back. And that's exactly what we're getting. So thank you, President Trump. But most of all, thank all of the fans out there who voted for him, because this is another example of you have the power to decide what succeeds and what fails. You decided President Trump should succeed, and now we're going to prove to them that Rush Hour 4 can succeed as well. Make Hollywood great again, boys and girls. A big shout out to all of our subscribers and members out there. Thanks for watching, and make sure you guys like and subscribe if you have not already.